Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Rama Hare Hare. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद, श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद, श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद, श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। Hare Krishna, dear devotee. So today is Thursday. It is 13th of June. It is Jyeshtha Masa or Trivikrama Masa, Sukla Paksham, and Saptami Tithi. So there are no Vaishnava events today. So we shall quickly move into Srimad Bhagavatam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, so Lord Brahma is speaking to Narada Muni about the glories and the opulence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, from whom everything emanates. Dravyam karmasya kalasya swabhavo jiva eva cha vasudevat paro brahman nacha anyo adhosti tatpataha. Everything vasudevat paro nacha anyo adhosti tatpataha. There is no other meaning tatpataha scientifically. Everything comes from Vasudeva. And then further Brahma says, Narayana Paraveda Deva Narayanangajaha Narayana Paraloka Narayana Paramakaha. And all these Vedas and the source of the Vedas and also Vedas are meant for only to know about Narayana. And all the demigods, they are part and parcel of Narayana. All the planets, they exist only for the pleasure of Narayana. And all the sacrifices, they are meant for satisfaction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narayana. Likewise, Brahma has been saying. And today, Brahma further continuing, and what are all also meant for Narayana. So today he is saying that all the yogic processes, they are meant only to attain Narayana. And all the austerities, tapasya, they are meant for Narayana only. Jnanam, only to know about Narayana. And Gatihi, ultimate salvation, that is only to attain Narayana. Everything are meant only for Narayana. So Brahma is further continuing that para, everything is Narayana. So we are in the Srimad Bhagavatam, second canto, chapter number 5 and verse number 16. Narayana paro yogo, Narayana parantapaha, Narayana param dhanam, Narayana paragatihi. Narayana paro yogo. Yoga is the way of connecting the individual to the Supreme. This is the process. There are so many yogic processes. And Bhakti Yoga is the topmost of all the yogic processes. So all these yogas are only for Narayana Paro Yogo. And this concentration of mind, the yogic process is only just to know Narayana. Narayana Param Tapaha. And all the austerities, they are aiming only to achieve Narayana. Narayana Param Tapaha. Narayana Param Jnanam. And the culture of transcendental knowledge just to realize the glimpse of Narayana. That Jnanam only to know about Narayana. Narayana Param Jnanam. Narayana Paragatihi. And this Gatihi is the ultimate salvation or progressive path towards the liberation. It is only um, it culminates and by entering into the kingdom of Narayana. That is the Narayana Paragatihi. Everything is Narayana only. Ultimate salvation is to attain Narayana. Narayana Paro Yogo, Narayana Parantapaha, Narayana Paramjnanam, Narayana Paragatihi. So, translation for this verse. All different types of meditation or mysticism or means for realizing Narayana. All austerities are aimed at achieving Narayana. Culture of transcendental knowledge is for getting a glimpse of Narayana. And ultimately, salvation is entering the kingdom of Narayana. And purport by Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So can I request any unallocated devotee to read this purport today, please?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, can I please read?
Yes, Mataji, please. Yes.
In meditation, there are two systems of yoga, namely Ashtanga Yoga and Sankhya Yoga. Ashtanga Yoga is practiced in concentrating the mind, releasing oneself from all engagements by the regulative process of meditation, concentration, sitting postures, blocking the movements of the internal circulation of air, etc. Sankhya Yoga is meant to distinguish the truth from ephemerals, but ultimately both systems are meant for realizing the impersonal Brahman, which is not a which is but a partial representation of Narayana, the personality of Godhead. As we have explained before, the impersonal Brahman effulgence is only a part of the personality of Godhead. Impersonal Brahman is situated on the person of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and as such, Brahman is the glorification of the personality of the Godhead. This is confirmed both in the Bhagavad Gita and in the Matsya Purana. Gati refers to the ultimate destination, or the last word in liberation. Oneness with the impersonal Brahma Jyoti is not ultimate liberation. Superior to that is the sublime association of the personality of Godhead in one of the innumerable spiritual planets in the Vaikuntha sky. Therefore, the conclusion is that Narayana, or the personality of Godhead, is the ultimate destination for all kinds of yoga systems as well as all kinds of liberation. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. So here Prabhupada is mentioning about that there are two different systems of yoga, namely Ashtanga Yoga and Sankhya Yoga. So there are many yogas. This yoga, Kapila Bhagavan explains that two yogas. One is the Sankhya philosophy and another one is the Bhakti Yoga. Those are two different processes. Yoga, um, he says, Dvayoha ekatrenaiva Purushaha Purusham Vrajet. So he mentions this Sankhya philosophy and Bhakti Yoga. Either one of it can be used to achieve the Purushaha Purusham Vrajet. Yayoho ekatrenaiva. Just either one of it. But here, Prabhupada explaining it's a different yogic processes. These are Ashtanga Yoga. Some people they are controlling their senses and elevating themselves to the Brahman platform. And another one is the Sankhya Yoga. Here, Sankhya is meant is understanding what is spirit and what is matter. That is Sankhya philosophy. So here Prabhupada is mentioning Ashtanga Yoga is a practice in concentrating the mind, releasing oneself from all engagements by the regulative processes of meditation. So concentration, sitting postures, this is Suchodeshe Pratistapya Vijitasanasana. Tasmin swasti samasena rujukaya samabhyaset. One has to sit properly in suchaudeshe pratistapya vijitasana asanam. Tasmin swasti samasena rujukaya samabhyaset. And he has to keep his body straight, keeping this spinal cord perpendicular to the earth. And then he has to concentrate. Pranayamaihi dahe doshan dharanabhisha kilbishan. Pratyahareణ సంసర్గాన్ ధ్యానేన అనీశ్వరాన్ గుణాన్. So this is Ashtanga Yoga process. Of course, here one has to meditate still on the 400 form of the Lord. How he's concentrating his mind, purifying after his purification, completely freeing from material things, and he has to concentrate on the Paramatma feature. That is the 400 Narayana form. And then, so that is the Ashtanga Yoga. So Ashtanga Yoga only brings one free from the material entanglement, but there is further to meditate on the Lord's personal form. And then further, Prabhupada says, that is Sankhya Yoga is meant to distinguish the truth from the ephemerals. Ephemerals are just use and throw. This material body is use and throw. It is simply a device. For time being, we got this one. Use this one to execute the devotional service. To execute this, so to execute the devotional service and then attain the perfection of human life, and this body will be disposed. And one will get, by the time a living entity, he get the spiritual form of, so that he can enter into the one of the Vaikuntha planets, and Krishna devotee enter into Goloka planet. So that is the ephemerals. Ephemerals are use and throw the objects and attain the perfection. Sankhya Yoga is meant to distinguish the truth from the ephemerals. So the matter is temporary, the spirit is permanent. But ultimately, both systems are meant for realizing the impersonal Brahman. See, that will bring one to impersonal Brahman, which is but a partial representation of Narayana, the personality of Godhead. And then Brahman effulgence is only Brahmanohi pritistaham amrutasya avyat. This is Krishna is meant Shashvatasya Dharmasya Sukasya Aikantikasya cha. That is the ultimate thing. But that is, and still further, there are Vaikuntha planets within the Brahman effulgence. And Prabhupada is mentioning here, um, so Brahman, impersonal Brahman is situated on the person of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and as such, Brahman is the glorification of the personality of Godhead. He is effulgence. And here, this is also Prabhupada a number of times explains that anyone who are killed by Krishna or the Lord Vishnu, so like demons and all those things, they will enter into the impersonal Brahman. And also, anyone who is desiring Sayujya Mukti or merging into the Supreme Brahman, they also enter into the same place. But the devotees, because they engage themselves completely, dedicating themselves in the service of Krishna, they enter inside the planets to associate with personally with the Lord. This is Salokya Saristi, Sarupya, Salokya Saristi Samipya, Sarupi Ekatma Apyuta, Demanam Nagruhnanti Vina, Matsevanam Janaha. Even though the Lord offers this all kinds of five kinds of liberations, devotees they do not take. Matse, why? Vina Matsevanam Janaha. Why? Just to serve the Lord. That's why Salokyadi Chatustayam Matsevaya Pritante Salokyadi Chatustayam. So that is how this Salokyadi Chatustayam, the four are permanent. Four liberations are permanent. Salokyadi Chatustayam. Salokya, Saristi, Samipya, Sarupya. These four are permanent. Sayuja is Kuto Anyat Kal Viplutam. That is not permanent. Though it is free from material entanglement, at some time it will be temporary. They will be fall down if they don't come back. If we observe, for example, just one example giving, if there is a temple, and in the temple there are so many servants, they are doing the service inside the temple. But outside the temple, there are few people sitting outside as well. So sometimes we see they may be appearing like asking for some kind of donations and charity. They don't work outside. They beg simply outside for the food or some kind of charity. They're also nearer to the temple, outside the temple, but they don't work. So that is some kind of scenarios. Just it is what I feel it. But Prabhupada is mentioning Arohya Kurchena Param Padam Tataha Padantyadaha Anadruta Yushmad Angrayah. Some devotees, it's not devotees, so because who have got conception of Brahman in the impersonal feature, because they make mistakes that this is not the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Whenever Krishna has appeared, so many people have not accepted him as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So that is the people who have got that Astanga Yoga and some kind of just only end up with the Sankhya philosophy, they will entering into this is impersonal Brahman. That is Kaivalyam Narakayate. Prabodhananda Saraswati, he sings a song like that. Kaivalyam Narakayate. So there is a very beautiful thing. He says, Kaivalyam Narakayate Tridisha Purakasha Pushpayate. Likewise, whenever he's singing, so Prabhupada says number of times. And yeah, and Krishna further says that Prabhupada further says, this is also confirmed both in the Bhagavad Gita and the Mashya Purana. Gati refers to the ultimate destination or the last word in liberation. Oneness with impersonal Brahmajyoti is not ultimate liberation. That is not so. Still, they have to enter into the planet of the Vaikuntha, where the Lord is present there. And superior to that is the sublime association of the Supreme Personality of Godhead in one of innumerable spiritual planets in the Vaikuntha sky. Therefore, conclusion is that Narayana or the personality of Godhead is the ultimate destination for all kinds of yoga system as well as all kinds of liberation. So this is and also happiness one derives from the Brahman and happiness deriving from the devotional service to the Lord is comparing like um, Brahmanando bhavedesha chet pararda gunikritah. Brahmanando bhavedesha chet pararda gunikritah. One's happiness, if it is multiplied by millions of times, that is Brahman effulgence, the merging into the Brahman effulgence, the happiness is a small mustard seed. If you multiply millions of times, but still it doesn't equal into the Naiti Bhakti Sukam Bhodehe, Nayeti Bhakti Sukam Bhodehe. One receives the pleasure through the devotional service. That is Nait Bhakti Sukam Bhodehe. Paramanu Tulamapi. And just like a Paramanu, whenever you compare with the devotional service, the impersonal Brahman, the happiness, it gives very tiny thing. So that is also mentioned in the scriptures. So Prabhupada here is explaining about everything. So everything is culminates whenever one associate with Narayana. That is the it gives more happiness. Narayana paro yogo, Narayana parantapaha, Narayana param jnanam, Narayana paragatihi. So this is what Brahma is saying to Narada Muni. That is from Srimad Bhagavatam. We shall quickly enter Srila Prabhupada's daily letter. So today it is letter to Gaurasundara, February 26, 1970, Los Angeles. Can I request Radha Sevaka Mataji to read this letter, please?
Hi, my dear Gaurasundara, please accept my blessings. I beg to acknowledge receipt of your letter dated 24th February 1970, together with your air flight tickets. So far Devananda is concerned, he must accompany me. Two brahmacharis, Devananda and Nanda Kumara, are attending me 24 hours it in so many ways. So if I go to Hawaii, at least one of them must go with me. Another thing has developed in the meantime, that we have made a contract to purchase a nice church here costing $225,000, and down payment has to be made $50,000 within the month of March. So there is a great strain to collect this 50,000 from many sources, including from my book fund. Therefore, even if I go to Hawaii, I will have to come back within a week, because in my absence, the transaction for purchasing the house may suffer. Under the circumstances, why don't you postpone for a future date when the mango season will be current? I do not think it is advisable in this stage to spend about $300 for a short period for our going and coming back. So I hope you will consider the present situation and let me know what is your decision. Hope this will meet you in good health. Your ever well wisher, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you, Mataji. Any takeaway points, Mataji, from this letter?
I think the essence of this letter is that it's Srila Prabhupada and how he realizes everything, uses everything in the service of Krishna and understands that everything belongs to Krishna. Even like he obviously wants they want to purchase this property, but then he's also saying that not to waste money as well, like on tickets and things like that, coming and going, and we see so much of this nowadays, but he's very specific in how he manages Krishna's resources. That's what I got, brother.
Okay, thank you so much, Mataji. Yes, so here Gaurasundara have invited Prabhupada to come to Hawaii, and Prabhupada was expecting this purchase of the property, but it's a tight time, 1 week, so it is very not worth to spend $300 for a short period. So Prabhupada was mentioning. Thank you so much, Mataji, for kindly explaining this letter. That is from Prabhupada's letter. And from the announcements point of view, so today evening we have got Krishna book reading at 8 p.m. That's all from the announcements for today. And dear devotees, if you wanted to share anything on Krishna consciousness or anything you wanted to mention, any events are going on, or you wanted to ask anything, kindly raise. Hare Krishna. Okay, so if there are no further updates, then we shall conclude and continue with further japa. वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंतकोटि वैष्णववृंद की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। Hare Krishna conscious day, everyone.